Same.
Oh, jeez. It didn't start yet. Hi! Hello. And today we have with us
Julia.
and Vera on the Film Corner.
Woo.
Woo.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about these two books. Yay.
Yay. I've only read one of them, though.
We should probably say a spoiler alert, though. We're going to
Yeah.
definitely be talking about...
Spoiler alert, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. And the sequel.
And the sequel. Yeah, I'm currently on that right now.
I'm on it, too. I'm only, 25 pages in now.
Well, let's talk about it.
All right.
Let's first, I would like to introduce Emma and Olive to this rant.
Okay.
It makes me so angry.
Me
I don't think
too.
you understand. They switched the characters.
In the there's also a movie that we're not just talking about the books. There's also a movie that came out for this. I guess it was pretty big, but I didn't really like it much. I started screaming after.
It wasn't anything like the book. And
No.
the endings were switched. And now
Yeah, and they don't have room for a sequel after what they did in the movie.
it's like because of how they decided to end the first movie. They were like, "Oops, sorry guys.
Whoops! We're just messing everything up.
We just can't make another movie." I mean,
Yeah.
it was a good movie by itself if you didn't know about the book.
Exactly. Yeah. And so one of our main issues with the switchover from the book to the movie, and this happens a lot. There are a lot of books out there that have been made into movies, and they skip out details, but they didn't. Not a lot of movies were messed up this much. Julia, would you like to discuss the Emma Olive situation?
Okay, so in the book, Olive is played by a little girl who can, fly, and it's great. But in the movie, she is switched to Jacob's, love interest. So she can now do fire, which is the role that Emma used to do in the book. But now Emma is the one that can fly, that plays Jacob's love interest in the movie.
Yeah, so basically they switched names with powers, and all these kids, we forgot to say that all these kids in here are stuck in a time loop. It's a very complicated process. I didn't understand it until the end of the book. But they're trapped in a time loop in 1940, September 3rd of 1940, and they each are protected in there because they have peculiar, as the book implies, powers, abilities. What do they call it? I think they call it peculiarities.
They just call it peculiar. To them, it isn't really abilities. It's
it's
just
just something that it's their thing. It's theirs. And so they switched a bunch of the names and they switched a lot of the ages too.
A
which
lot of
confused
them?
me. Yeah.
A lot of them in the book were played by younger characters, but in the movie, they made them older. I mean, I didn't really appreciate that.
They switched they didn't switch any genders, thankfully, but they did switch a lot of the ages for the kids. For example, what's his name? The invisible boy.
Hugh.
Hugh. No, not
Hugh.
That's his name is well, one of the characters is invisible, and he was a teenager, and he was one of the main protagonists. He was one of the main hero guys.
Yeah.
And he was very smart, and now in the movie, he's a little kid, which I didn't really appreciate. I felt like his character would have been better as an older person, as it is in the book.
Yeah. Can we also talk about Victor in the movie and in the book? This part really made me sad because in the book they buried Victor for a little funeral before everything goes down, but in the movie they just let him explode. I didn't appreciate that.
So in the end, what Julia is talking about is in the end, the house, the time loop happened. They set the time loop right before a bomb hits the house, but the bomb doesn't end up hitting the house because of the time loop.
Right.
If the time loop breaks, because Miss Peregrine, sorry, I always pronounce that wrong, is injured, then the bomb drops on the house and the house is destroyed. Everybody who's in the house dies. So in the book, as Julia was saying, the Victor, they had time to bury him. They knew it was going to happen. They were back at the house, and they had time to bury him.
Except in the movie, it was daybreak when they first heard about it, so
Yeah.
they could have done it. But there was just this one scene where it skipped from daylight to nightfall in like 5
made no
seconds.
sense.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah, it made no sense. It's a good movie if you haven't read the book.
Yeah.
Like, you think, wow, this is a great storyline. And then when you read the book, you're like,
Oh.
wow, this is bad.
Yeah, they've just messed up way too much in the movie. There's 3 books in it, and I prefer the books more.
They're good. It's a good book. It's an okay movie.
If
but
you
when
watch it by itself.
Yeah.
Oh, can we talk about Olive and what's his name? What was his name?
Enoch.
Yes, him. He's actually supposed to be played as a child.
Yeah.
But he is then played as a teenager
Yeah.
for Olive's love interest in the movie.
Except it's not Olive. Her name. Oh yes, her name is
name is
Olive,
Olive
but she
in
has
the
Emma's
movie.
powers. It's messed
really
up.
messed up.
It's messed up.
Uh,
So basically, in the book, we have actually there's a index of characters right in the front.
oh, we should probably say who
Yeah.
it's by. It's
Yeah,
it's written by
Ransom
Riggs. Ransom Riggs. He's a nice guy.
He's a great guy. I feel very bad what they did to his book. All right, so Jacob is the narrator, and he can see the mystical beings that attack the peculiar children and try to eat them, which is another difference in the book. In the book, the Hologhast, the bad guys, just try to eat the children, but in the movie, they like take out their eyes and eat them, which I thought was messed up.
I don't know. It wasn't. The
It wasn't-
system wasn't good.
No. But we have Emma we're talking just about the book. Emma has fire. Millard is invisible.
That's
Olive
his name.
and Emma and Millard are like teenagers. Olive is a little girl, and she floats. Browen, whose twin is Victor, the dead kid, and Browen is very strong, and her age was kept the same, I'd
It
say.
was, yeah.
Yeah. Horace, who is like kind of a prophet type guy.
I don't know. In the book, he told prophecies, but in the movie, he had dreams.
Yeah.
It was really weird. Like, they mixed up so much stuff.
Yeah, and Enoch was,
A child in the book,
yes, and he could animate things that were dead if you put hearts in them.
which is pretty nice.
And they don't go very in depth with that in the movie.
They don't. They have like that one scene with Olive and Jacob, but they
Yeah.
don't really go into it.
No. And so our main issue is they took Emma, a teenager, and Olive, a little girl, and basically swapped it and made Olive a teenager.
I mean, it wouldn't have been that bad if they at least kept the names.
Yeah.
It's just like, if you're gonna have the person float, then how about you just change their name to Olive? I didn't really appreciate how they did that.
Exactly. In the middle of the movie, because we watched it as a club, not as a club for another club that we're both in, so this didn't happen in the book, but in the movie, Olive, who throws fire in the book, or in the movie, but not in the book. Olive throws fire in the movie, not in the book. Olive freezes. All right, and then Enoch kisses her, and she's okay. And at that point in the movie, I screamed, "Frozen 2!" Yeah, because it was just like Frozen 2. I was like, Anna, what did you get yourself into? She looked just like Anna too.
She did. I did appreciate it.
No, I didn't appreciate
it.
that.
The setup wasn't the best, and it's just, I could rant for so long about this. And
Yeah.
It's just, oh, the twins.
Oh yeah, the twins.
Let me see if I can find their picture here.
Looks like somebody got a copper stain on your book.
Coffee stain on my book? Oh, yeah, apparently.
Was that you?
Nah. Oh, right there. Okay. There's
yeah.
the twins. This is the only time that they're mentioned in the book. Like, they don't even have a part in the book.
No.
But for some reason, they got this huge, like, major character in the movie, and I just didn't appreciate it.
Yeah, and like they made up a peculiarity or ability
For them. They never talked about it in the book.
No, and they're barely there in the movie. Well, I put a character in there that's barely there that does one thing, and that's not even in the book, except for like a picture. I'm sorry, I hit your knee.
It's okay.
I don't get it.
I don't appreciate it.
No, it's horrible. It's bad.
It's really bad. Okay. Well, I think that's all of our rants for today.
About wraps it up.
I hope you enjoyed this rant about this movie in this book.
Yes.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Jordan just spoke in my ear and said,